And I want to invite you to one of these Sundays come down and be a part of it with me. I've just finished some of that good old Bahamian boiled fish. I truly enjoyed it. And they open every Monday to Friday. They close on Saturdays and they open on Sundays. So if you're in the downtown area, come down through the week. And if you're here on Sundays, you can join them for some of that good old Bahamian boiled fish and stew fish. I had an excellent experience, so actually I'm full. And then now I'm drinking some of that good old Bahamian lemonade. We were here about 2-3 weeks ago, and we had a number of individuals came down with us, and breakfast was on transforming lives. And so what I want to do, even before I start, I didn't even thought about this. Wow, I have this McDonald's voucher, but I don't have them with me. I wanted to give them away now, but I don't have them with me, so I wouldn't ask persons to come here, because if they come, then I won't be able to present them with the vouchers. But I am here, Old Nassau Cafe downtown. I'm inviting you Monday to Friday, Bahamian Entrepreneur. Come down, get to see some of that good old, eat some of that good old Bahamian food, but also looking around, there's a number of items, conch shells and sponge, and you name it, coral reef, and good old Bahamian stuff. But today, I just want to thank you for joining us today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I want to share with you, I was not here last week. I had an opportunity to go to Jamaica at a business conference, but while there, as you know, I'm a part of Prison Fellowship, and so I took an opportunity to visit the prison in the Bahamas. Prison in Jamaica. I visited Maximum Prison. That was last week, Saturday. And I had the privilege, I call it a privilege, to meet a Bahamian while it's not under good circumstances, but he's incarcerated there. He was glad to see me. He was glad to see a fellow Bahamian. I let the officials know I was coming there, and so they made the necessary provisions for me to meet with him. Gave me the contact to reach out to his family members. I made the call to his sister, just to let her know I spoke with him. He's in good shape, and he's in good spirits in spite of the situation and circumstances he finds himself in. So that was a pleasure for that. Also want to remind you, and I'm sure Jackie will share more about it, there's a boat cruise beginning at 6 p.m. Jazz Under the Stars. I was hoping to go this today, but I don't think I'll be able to, but I think they have it monthly, and I'm inviting persons who are able to. You can still go. It's never too late for that, for Jazz Under the Stars. Somebody, can you mute your mic for me, please? Somebody just coming in, can you mute your mic? But so as I was saying, for Jazz Under the Stars, that's 6 o'clock today. And so we want to invite persons to be a part of it. I just want to share with you live music aboard the pirate ship. Departure time 7 to 9. Food and drinks on sale. There's a $30 entrance. Okay. Okay. Also, somebody said, where do you join the ship? The pirate ship dock at the old, I think we call it Pioneer Shipping Yard. That's right opposite the old tourism police station on Bay Street. Right, so that's where it used to be. I think they call it, I forget the name of the wharf. So that's where they dock. Jazz on the Stars, that's my kind of thing. I hoping to, I don't think I'll be able to go today, but it starts at 7. There are plenty parking. And so you can go there, join the live band, the jazz. I love that jazz music. It's a $30 entrance fee. Okay. And there's a number 828-0663 or 557-0443. And if you wish to get any more information, or you wish me to send you the flyer, WhatsApp me at 433-6917. 433-6917. Repeat the number 828-0663. 828-0663. Or 557-0443. 557-0443. So I just wanted to share that with you. Jackie will be sharing on an event when she joins us. Pink Rain, I think that's the name of it. So you'll be hearing more about that from Jackie, that program when she joins us. And she encouraged myself and others to also promote it, okay? At Legacy Church. That's October 28th. All right, she says they will be praying for and covering people with illnesses and diseases and praying for the children. So that's Pink in October 28th at Legacy Church, 8 a.m. So I just want to remind you of that. Also, I want to let you know I have one retired Justice Carol Munnings, and she is using her semi-retirement to share some information about the law. And she's saying, she sent me something, said, you have I guess we call it a small case. And she wanted to talk to you about it. And it'll actually be taped live on television. Justice Munnings, I know you're here. Unmute your mic and tell us about this ministry. I call it a ministry that you've gotten started. Go ahead, Justice.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. Good afternoon, Bahamas. Yes. So I'm a former magistrate. My title would have been magistrate registrar. I wasn't actually a justice. That's maybe like a legal term of art. Some people. I wasn't a justice in the Supreme Court, but I was a deputy registrar. I've been a vice president of Industrial Tribunal and magistrate. So I'm retired from the judiciary and using my experience as a former magistrate dealing with civil claims and family cases and the like. I also did criminal matters too, but really I'm focusing on civil cases and family cases. Now, my experience has been that going to court gives people a lot of stress. It's expensive, and sometimes matters linger, and disagreements, they fester and relationships break down because people don't have a way to get it resolved. So I have this vision really to take away that stress that people have for going to court. So I have something, I call it like a dispute resolution clinic. Now, people are familiar, I'm sure, with People's Court, Judge Maybelline, and Court TV and those programs. So my dispute resolution clinics will be on TV. They'll be televised. So I'm encouraging people, if you have family issues, ASU issues, traffic, family disputes where you can't seem to agree and you want someone who can help you to get these matters resolved, and you want to be heard, so come to, Judge Carroll's dispute resolution clinics. Come to the clinic. It is going to be televised. I'm taking registration up until the 1st of September because we're rolling it out right during the month of December. So really, you just have this week. And if you and the other person, can agree for me to hear the case, please contact info@judgecarroll.net. That's info, INFO, at Judge Carroll, that's one word, JUDGECAROL.net. Or you can send a WhatsApp to 445-4955. That's 445-4955. I'm offering, what I do is, it's called, the legal term for it is alternative dispute resolution. So you don't have to go to court. You don't have to find money to pay lawyers. You don't have to wait months and months or years for a court date. And you get to, basically, that you have someone, meaning myself. I have over 30 years of experience in the law. I've been a judge for well over a decade, and I've seen all manner of cases. So I am someone, I will be fair, I will be firm, I will be just, and you just need to be willing, you and the other side just need to be willing for me to hear your case. And if you come to my court, I'll call it that, if you come to my court, the parties will also get an appearance fee for being willing to come to court and to have the matter, to have the matter recorded. So I know, Mr. Williams, sometimes people are concerned, well, I don't want my matter to be on TV because I don't want everybody to see my business. But, the truth of the matter is the regular court system, that's also public. Church is public, the court system is public. If you go into the magistrate's court, The courts will be full of people who are not even related to you, have different matters, Supreme Court. And then, of course, the cases, some of them, particularly I know with the criminal cases, they may be up on they are reported on the news and so on. But the point that I want to make for persons who are maybe unsure or uneasy is that court matters, whether it's this forum that I am making available to the Bahamian public or the traditional forum, it does have the element of the public being aware. But there's a benefit for that too, which is also really a part of my vision, because there's an opportunity for me to educate the Bahamian public. There are things that people know or similar situations that persons may have encountered, and they want to have an understanding. It will give me an opportunity to explain things for the Bahamian public, for them to know, oh, this is how that goes, or this is why that happened, and to really have that connection and that rapport with people who have issues that have been nagging and lingering and lingering. And then, of course, you get a much faster date. You know, you come to the Judge Carroll program. Yes, you get compensation for the matter being aired, and then you get a faster date because you won't have to wait weeks and weeks and months. So once again, the contact would be info, I-N-F-O, info@judgecarroll.net. Send an email. You know, we want to be heard. Put that in the subject line. And you know, I'm envisioning that there will be family members, or not even family members, maybe neighbors. You have a landlord and you have a tenant, and they just can't really seem to agree. These are matters that I could hear. Arrears of maintenance, these are matters that I could hear. The only requirement is that both parties are willing for me to hear the case. I'm not going to issue a summons, and I'm not sending the police to go get anybody. Once the parties agree, and you know, they want someone with my level of experience, understanding, I'm firm, I'm fair, I will absolutely be just, come to Judge Carroll and register by the 1st of September, because we're going to be moving in the month of September. You don't want to miss this opportunity. I have a special thing lined up for the first 3 cases that register. So 445-4955.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go right ahead. All right,
Yes.
give the number.
Yes, so 445-4955, that's the WhatsApp number. And, you know, say we want to be heard. And then we'll get the information from you and let you know where to go, because the producer will be in contact and tell you what the date. I'm not going to say whatever. We have the dates fixed, but I can't give them on air.
Fully understand. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, there you have it, Bahamas. You have the telephone contact. I mean, our very own Judge Carroll. That should be quite interesting. So looking forward to see that. You know the number. So please connect with her, and let's get it going. Thank you so
Great.
much
Thank
for
you.
being on the show.
Thank
Well,
you.
today
Appreciate
we
it.
have a power pack show once again. Jackie Gardner, co-host of the show, Transforming Lives. Welcome back, David. You've been missing. It feels like 2 weeks, but I think it was only 1. David Williams, the one and only David Williams. Welcome back to the show, Transforming Lives. Let us know just a snippet, because we're talking all things children, and we want to get onto that. But tell us about vacation, just a 1-liner, 2-liner. Go ahead, David.
Thanks. It was wonderful. What I was thinking is, you and I should have the first appearance before the judge. And my dispute with you is you looking so lovely that is distracting me from the show. So let's see if she's able to bring some resolution to that. Okay.
Okay, not a problem. So what happened is that you see me have my hat. So I have several functions today. One of those is that jazz function. I'm going to be on the sea. I have my hat. I'm ready to go. It's going to be a restful, enjoyable afternoon. So right after the show, I have actually 2 functions. So that's why a little bit tardy in coming on, but I'm ready to go. But before I go, I'm interested in all things children. And I am so glad we have 2 lovely ladies on the show, and they know a lot about children. So welcome to the show. I'm just going to tell you snippets of these about these lovely ladies, and then we're going to get into the conversation. Lots to cover. So our first guest, it's Deb. I see Deb Ray. I don't know if that's the full name. Debbie Ray. I see Debbie Ray, one part, and then Deb. So Debbie Ray Rivers. I was in a course with her before, and I can tell you this lady has information, life-changing course. She is the executive. So we go high, right? Michelle Obama talk about going high. So we go high on this show. She is the executive director of SCARS Bermuda, a registered charity in Bermuda. She is also a trained darkness to light facilitator. So that's just snippets about her. We also have no stranger to the show. I love this lady because she is such a supporter of not just the show, but of children. She is really passionate about what it is she does. Siobhan Cash Hollis is the co-founder of Save Our Children Alliance, child and women's rights advocate, and a trained darkness to light facilitator. She also holds many certificates in non-profit education. Welcome to the show, Ms. Rivers and Ms. Hollis. Just tell us one line. I've just said a little snippet. Just give us a little bit more about Ms. Hollis, one line of Ms. Hollis, and then a one line of Ms. Rivers. Go right ahead.
A very pleasant good afternoon. I trust that everyone can hear me, and thank you each and every one of you that are tuned in this afternoon. One-liner. Child sexual abuse is preventable. We must do better, Bahamas.
Oh man, she is serious. She's you need to see the face of those of you in the Zoom room. You would have seen the expression on her face. I wish for those on Facebook. Well, maybe you still also can see, but she is serious about that. Ms. Rivers, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Jackie, for having me. Thank you, Siobhan. She is a true advocate in your country for children, and so am I in my country of Bermuda. Children's lives matter, and their innocence needs to be protected.
Wow, two powerful statements from two powerful ladies. So as you can appreciate, we're talking all things children, and we are talking about the protection of children. Now they have this group, they have lots of initiative geared towards the protection of children, and there is a special training. So I want to just get out the gate talking about training, because knowledge is power, and we're talking about, you talk about it's child protection, and the violation of children, sexual abuse of children is clearly avoidable. And I'm thinking that one of the ways that you think that it's avoidable is via education. So tell us a little bit about this training. Since you're up, Ms. Hollis, we'll start with you.
Sure. So the training that we are talking about, I'll turn it over to Debbie. Debbie is actually the veteran.
Well, actually, I meant Debbie. I meant Debbie as opposed to yourself. So I'm glad you realized that. Go right ahead, Ms. Rivers.
Okay, so SCARS in Bermuda uses a training curriculum developed by an organization in the United States called Darkness to Light. And it's an award-winning prevention education tool that teaches adults how to recognize abuse, prevent it, and react responsibly to it. They use empowerment skills, and they use 5 steps to protect children. What we have discovered in Bermuda after training, 12,600 adults, which is, our adult population is 53,000. But what we have seen is by educating our adults in prevention, things have started to change in Bermuda. Once adults realize that this is preventable, there are things that they can do to minimize the risk, because sexual abuse and sexual harm of children is preventable. And so every organization who opens their doors to children really should require their staff and volunteers to be educated in prevention. There should be some sort of training curriculum that teaches adults, because they may be that one person that a child tells that they're being sexually molested. In our country, sexually abusing children and using children for sexual pleasure is against the law. And it's a crime. And I can tell you one thing, Bermuda takes child protection in this country very seriously. We've been doing this work for 11 and a half years, and we can see the results of what happens when you educate people on why it's so important to protect children from sexual abuse. The biggest reason is sexual abuse causes emotional scars. It just does. If we think that a child walks away after being sexually molested, unaffected, we're sadly mistaken. And when a child is sexually abused, it not only affects that child, it affects their family and an entire community. Because those who are abused, they will either go down the road of, and I can list all the symptoms, drug and alcohol abuse, sexual promiscuity, they might drop out of school, they may harm themselves, they may experience depression and anxiety, they may be angry because people in their life didn't protect them. They may end up hurting others, so committing crimes. Drug addiction because they numb out, they escape from the pain. No child is going to walk away and say, I enjoyed having sex with that adult. That was fun. They don't even understand many times what has happened to them. And so we must take the sexual harm of children very seriously, because it does affect the health. It can affect the health of a community. Bermuda, like I said, has taken this topic very seriously. We have most of our youth serving organizations mandate prevention education. Most of our youth serving organizations have implemented safe policies that send red flags to people because sex offenders want to be around children. So the organizations that open their doors to children must do everything they can to make sure those children are safe. And parents should ask those questions because they don't know everybody working in these organizations. And sex offenders will apply to organizations where they can have access to children, especially organizations that don't do their due diligence. So
can you repeat that for me? I just want you to linger right there. There's some organization, a church, a pastor, a teacher, it's back to school time. Just repeat that little bit right there that you said.
Yeah, I want to say that those that are sexually attracted to children, that gain sexual satisfaction and arousal from a child, they will look for institutions that don't do their due diligence. They will look for institutions that aren't looking for this. They want to be where there are kids. And so every organization that opens their doors to children should make sure that their staff is educated in prevention. They should know how to recognize the signs. They should talk to their own children about body safety, and parents need to talk to their kids about body safety. They need to do everything they can to minimize the opportunity, because sex offenders want to be where there are kids. That's their sickness. And they want to be able to react responsibly if a child ever tells them they're being abused. They want to know how to react. And so we must take child sexual abuse seriously, because it will negatively affect a child, which could affect all of us if we don't do everything in our power to protect children. And like I said, Bermuda takes this topic very seriously. You can't even work in a public school without doing our prevention education. You can't be a football coach without doing prevention education. You can't open up a nursery school or be a daycare provider without doing prevention education. So this country takes it very seriously, and we'd like to see every country take this seriously.
Wow.
Because there is a spillover.
Yes, absolutely. So what you're saying, you put your money behind your mouth. So Ms. Hollis, she spoke about Bermuda. What do you know in terms of training here in the Bahamas? Let's get home. We see a platform where it is done and it has worked and it made a difference. What is happening here in our lovely Bahamas? Ms. Hollis?
Well, if you want me to be quite honest, it is much needed. It's a void in the Bahamas. And that's how I met Debbie, like I said, over 2.5 years ago, is when I started our camp organization in Bermuda called Camp Confidence, where I taught teenage girls. And it was mandated and mandatory that I took the training. After I would have signed up for SCAR's training, I was immediately transformed, meaning my life, my way of thinking, everything about child sexual prevention. Now, there's a few persons on the live who I see, including yourself, Ms. Gardner, that would have taken the training. So I'm sure you can attest to how I feel and what's going on. It is a void in my country. And to each and every person that's listening to the sound of my voice and that can see me, I cannot write enough letters to bring about awareness. I cannot speak enough about it. Myself, along with a lot of NGOs and individuals who take child protection, child prevention seriously in our country. Too much talking. I'm not about talking. I am about action. And that is why I thank God for my partner, Debbie Ray Rivers, who is so passionate. Like I said, she, like myself, she's very passionate about this topic. And we are hoping that one day, very soon, we can bring this training to the Bahamas. This is no joke. In the Bahamas, I know Debbie may not have known, but there have been daily cases of sexual rape of children, molestation that's going on. It seemingly is becoming, we are becoming a desensitized country. And because I am Bahamian, yes, I live in Bermuda through my marriage. I love Bermuda, but I am a Bahamian. I can attest because I've seen the mindset change in Bermuda. So I'm speaking from experience firsthand, not hearsay. I know that if we get many of our adult population, I'm hoping everyone, but if we get our responsible adult population, I know we will see a drastic change in my country. So I am appealing to each and every one, please help us to bring this program to the Bahamas, and you will see a difference. Let's save that next child. Let's save our children. It's too much going on. One child that have been raped, scarred, marred, it's too many. And I am sick and tired. Thank you.
All right. She is sick and tired of being sick and tired of the molestation of our children. I just want to say a shout out. I see a Miss Beverly McKinney. She says, I'm watching. We have persons all around, not just in Nassau, Bahamas. We have persons all around Turks and Caicos, Freeport. I want to say shout out to all of you who are watching, listening. I want to also invite you as we about 4:24 as we move forward. This is an important conversation that involves each and every one of us. So I want to give you an opportunity. Call your friends, call any and everyone. It's not too late to join in this important discussion. We need action, and we need action now. And so I'm appealing to you. I'm calling out to you. Facebook, YouTube, let's do it. Those in the Zoom room, get your questions ready. We want to move forward with our children at the center of it all. We want to ensure that our talents are protected. And like we said, knowledge is power. Now, I know you have a big vision, a big goal. Tell us about in terms of training. Tell us a little bit about this big goal and this vision. How many persons is it? One person you want trained, two persons? I've been a part of your the training, and let me just say that upfront and personal. This is a noteworthy training. You're not inviting persons to be a part of something that is watered down. If anything, is watered up. Tell us a little bit about the training and what that big goal involves.
Sure, I'll lend it over to Debbie, and I'll add to what she has to say in terms of our proposed training that we're hoping to do in the Bahamas.
I love you believe in protocol. I love that. That's one person. Over to you, Ms. Rivers.
Okay, so because we know that prevention is possible and change is possible, Bermuda has done it ever since we've been training. I don't know if any of you have heard of this theory called the tipping point. It was written by a man named Malcolm Gladwell, and his theory is if you can affect 5% of a given population on a certain behavior, you can change behaviors. And Bermuda has seen that tipping point work in action. Once we started training 5% of our adult population, we started seeing things change. We started seeing more reporting of child sexual abuse. More and more people wanted to get trained, and organizations started mandating it. Reporting went up. Laws started strengthening. 23% are now, 23% of our adult population are now educated. Our courtrooms are becoming more sensitive. Things started changing because people realized the traumatic effects that this has on children, their families, and an entire community when we turn a blind eye, when we sweep it under a rug, when we don't put children first. So as a result, Siobhan has been your advocate out there, and she said, this needs to come to Bermuda. Well, we've together, Siobhan and I have trained 98 Bahamians, so not quite 100. And I said to And Siobhan has been trying for, I don't know, a year and a half, trying to get
I
us.
can say she has, and there are persons in the chat attesting. So Siobhan, I see persons popping up saying, I'm with you, Siobhan. I feel your passion. So go right ahead. So they're with you. So you're getting more and more, you know, you're making steady progress. I know you've been at it for a while, but I want to encourage you just from the feedback in the chat, person saying, I'm here to get involved. Go right ahead, Ms. Rivers.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Jackie. So since 2021, we've trained 98 Bahamians, but we want to train more. So we have an opportunity in November. I would like to take 5 days of my personal time. I run a very busy charity, but I want to take 5 days in November, between November 17th to the 21st. And we have an opportunity for me to come down there and train, the maximum 500 Bahamians, probably more like 460. I'll do 2 trainings a day over that time. Siobhan and I. And the reason that we decided to do this now is because Darkness to Light has a cost for the training. And they sell SCARS workbooks, and we raise money in our community from donors, community and corporate donors, so that our community does not pay for it. The donors pay for it. This is free education in our country, because we don't want there to be a barrier why somebody wouldn't pay for this prevention education. But we have an opportunity to bring down 460 workbooks, Darkness to Light workbooks. And the reason is because for free to the Bahamas, free for my time, but because Darkness to Light is retiring the training that we have trained the 98 people in the Bahamas and the 12,600 in Bermuda. They're retiring this training December 31st. It cannot be used any longer. And I have 500 booklets that I can bring to the Bahamas. The SCARS have agreed to, because they're just going to be, we're not going to be able to use them after December 31st. And our board has agreed that we could bring them to the Bahamas and train your people. And over between November 17th and November 21st, my own personal time. We want to train your government ministries. We want to train your Department of Education, your Ministry of Education, your Ministry of Health, children's homes, any sporting organizations, any teachers, whoever wants to come in the room. It's 3 hours, and to learn what they can do to protect the children of the Bahamas. And this is a personal commitment from SCARS Bermuda and Save Our Children Alliance. We also have a commitment from our Director of Public Prosecutions in Bermuda, who has played a huge role in this country in helping laws to get changed, along with our Attorney General, strengthening our laws. She is played a pivotal role in this country. And she is willing to use her personal time and expertise to meet with Bahamian child safeguarding entities on her own personal time, to speak with the police, to speak with your judicial, to speak with your public prosecution services, to speak with your court services about the progress and the vast improvements that Bermuda has made in child protection. Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't we want to protect children and save children from sexual abuse? And so we have an availability to come to your country. SCARS, it asks that the Bahamas, your sponsor, somebody pays for our airfare for Ms. Clark and I, and our accommodations. Wow. The only other thing we need is for someone to pay for shipping costs, which would be about $4,500 to get, to get the training booklets down there. That's $2,744. Our accommodation and our airfare is for the two of us is going to cost about $4,500. To ship the booklets, there's 7 booklets with 80 booklets in each box, 7 boxes with 80 booklets. That's, that's $560 right there. That would cost about $2,745. That is the 2 costs that we ask. Get us down there, buy our airfare. You're not paying for our time, and you're not paying for the training. And so we would like this opportunity to come down there and just train more adults. Because once you start educating a community, they see the importance of it, and things will begin to change. It is so important that we protect children, because children were never meant to come into this world to be used sexually. And I am here to tell you it will affect them. And how do I know that? Because I'm a survivor, and I have 2 children that survived sexual assault from a step grandfather. And let me tell you something, it's not easy to report family members, but nobody is above the law. And in this country, sexually abusing children is a crime. And many years ago, people didn't react responsibly. But I will say this, we need to love justice more than we fear human judgment.
Absolutely. Say that again. Say that again.
We need to love justice for children more than we fear human judgment. Because it is against the law, it is injustice to harm children. Because it will affect them as they grow through their teens and their adult life. And you may have to live with a survivor of abuse. You may be married, you may be a partner, you may work with someone who's a survivor. You may be a friend of a survivor. We want to make sure that our children have an opportunity to be protected, and we should make sure of that in every country. And I'm telling you, Bermuda is the leading country in the world that have trained the most people in terms of our population. And we've received an award from the leading sexual abuse organization in the United States called Darkness to Light. We use their curriculum, but they gave us an award a few years ago because we had trained the most people, the most adults. Let me tell you something. Our country is not in denial that this existed. It's not. And it takes child protection very seriously. And as a result, you can see it because all these organizations are mandating it. Parents are coming into the room and they're learning what they can do to talk to their children about body safety. Mm-hmm. Even if mommy makes you feel uncomfortable, you can tell me. If grandpa touches you or exposes his genitals, you can tell me because I'll believe you and I will intervene for you because you're my child.
Well, I mean, that's I just want to pause right there. I believe you. I just recently read a case and I don't know if to say traumatized, but I'll use that word by what happened to this. It was a gentleman actually on a talk show was talking about the fact that he's an adult now, but he was going back to his 7-year-old, 8-year-old self. And he said that he was molested by a family friend. And he came home, finally got the courage to tell his mother, told his mother, and his mother said that she believed him. And in that moment, he believed his mother, and his mother said, okay, if that actually happened, I will take you to the police and you report this incident to the police. He went with his mother with the understanding that his mother believed him, got to the police station and started to share the story and spoke about who did it. That's when he realized that his mother did not really believe him. His mother thought in telling him that they will go, so somewhere along the line, she thought that when they arrived at the police station, he would have said, we can't, and said, no, that wasn't true. That didn't actually happen. So here he is with his mother side by side, relaying this story with such bravery as to what happened. And the mother is saying, no, that did not happen. That could not happen. I want to appeal to mothers, and I'll let you take that over again because you've had the training and intimate knowledge that it is so important. And I want to pause. It is so important. It's so important to believe your children because when you do not do that, it's almost like molesting them all over. It's a violation of trust all over again. Talk a little bit about that. That's like double violation.
Oh, it sure is. These are when we teach adults how to react responsibly, which is the 5th step in our training. One of the things that we say is if a child discloses sexual abuse, first of all, that took a lot of courage. Most children don't tell. It's the most silent crime. Why? Fear. Somebody's going to kill somebody in their family. How am I going to pay my bills? The mother or the other parent will say, how am I going to pay my bills? You better be quiet. The perpetrator blames the child. I don't care if a child stands naked in a room and asks an adult to have sexual contact with them. It's an adult's responsibility to protect children, not use them for sexual pleasure. So I don't care if a child begs an adult. The adult is supposed to do the right thing. Sexually harming children is not okay. It's against the law in this country, and I know it's against the law in your country. And nobody is above the law. Nobody, not even the people we know and love and care about. So we must do the right thing and tell a child, I believe you. We also must tell a child what happened was not your fault. You did not cause this. I'm going to be here to support you, no matter who did this to you. I'm going to help you get through this. And then we're going to get you some help. Because I can tell you something, if that child isn't believed, or if that child is blamed, that child's going to grow up and become very angry, very resentful for the people in their life who blamed them, who didn't believe them, who covered up for them, who stuck up for adults where they stuck up for a little child. I don't care what your relationship is. I had to report my mother's husband, my stepfather. And was that easy? No, it wasn't. He wasn't only a trusted family member, he was a devout church member. I thought my children were safe. But I will say this, and I will take my scars hat off and put my personal Debbie Ray Rivers hat on. You cannot say you know God, love God, and have an accurate view of God and harm children. It's an oxymoron.
I'm with you. Twisted, really twisted way of thinking. And it is unbelievable the amount of cases that originated from religious church. It's astounding. That's for lack of a better word, just astounding. It's sickness. That's what I.
Yeah, Jackie, can I say this? Sex offenders who attend church, they deceive the people in their church. They don't only deceive the family that they're harming and the child that they're deceiving and using for sexual pleasure. They're deceiving the people they're sitting next to in a pew. Anybody who works with children, a sports coach, a teacher, a babysitter, they deceive everyone. They don't walk into families with a sign on their head that says they have sexual thoughts of children. They don't walk into a church with that sign on their head. They don't walk into a sporting organization or a nursery school with that sign on their head. They don't want anybody to know that they're sexually attracted to children. That's why 80% is an isolated one-on-one. They don't do this in front of other people.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad that you say that. They tend to be very charismatic individuals because they want to win the support and confidence of church members, parents. And so I'm glad that we are discussing this because parents really need to understand that it is their responsibility not to make assumptions. Find out, even your teachers, find out a lot about your child's teacher. You know, some of the teachers want to take the children home. Why is this, why are they isolating just your child? Yes. What kind of home is the child going? Don't make assumptions. And it's back to school, and maybe that's why I am passionate. I mean, even as I discuss this, I am very emotional about this because, like Siobhan said, recently in reading about some of the cases in our country, enough is enough. The long-term impact on these children, I mean, it follows them into adulthood. So these very same children who have already been violated then goes into classroom and they are labeled as fresh. These are the children a lot of time we call fresh and not give them an opportunity. Sometimes they are aggressive in class because they then become very protective and very defensive. And so once again, nobody's now stopped. The parents might not hear them. The person who they reported to didn't hear them. And now they're in class and they are acting out. And what this acting out then causes. I just want for our parents to understand the trickle-down impact, just like you said, the kid that is now distracted, bearing all that pain, can't graduate. When they can't graduate and get a proper education, you see what happened now? They sometimes find themselves babies at a very early age, in prison at a very early age, and it follows them, and it's not their fault. It didn't start. A child did not ask to be molested. They ought to be able to mature and grow up free of molestation. Free of molestation.
Absolutely. And parents, it's a parent's duty. And this is why we want parents to get trained so that they can talk to their children early and often about body safety. Another thing I didn't do well enough. Yeah. We've got to stop worrying about, we have to have those conversations in an age-appropriate, child-friendly way. Stop calling a penis another name. Yes. You want that child to have that language so that if something ever happens, they can come right and tell you what happened. If they tell you somebody touched their Johnson, well, Johnson could be anything. I don't know
Yes.
what names you have in your country, but I could write a book on pet names of private body parts. We want parents to get the education, come in the room, learn what they can do to protect their little one, and provide them with really crucial body safety information early and often.
Thank you so much. And another thing, this is very common in our country. So two things, and then I'm going to bring Ms. Hollis in because she was about. I'm going to bring her in the conversation. I want to respond to these two things because she would appreciate from growing up in this society. Children ought to be seen and not heard. That works against us, right? Children ought to be seen and not heard. And secondly, this is another pet peeve, and I want you to zoom in on this. If you want your child to come and tell, it means that your child has to have confidence in you, and you must have a relationship with your child. If you do not have a relationship with your child, do not expect that your child will come and tell you. Ms. Hollis, over to you. You comment about those same two factors.
Sure. I must say the conversation has definitely been enlightening, and I agree to the context of what was said before. We live in a society of stigmatization, and we live in a society where I say we have selective memory in terms of what we talk about. We also live in a society where we tend to blame the victim, and that all goes back to lack of education, like Debbie would have alluded to. A parent may not know. I'm not making no excuse for any adult, but I feel it's a lack of education. And when we say education, last time I said that on a show, the person think about a degree form. No, we're talking about child sexual abuse prevention education. That is what is so lacking in our country. We are afraid to talk about certain things. Like you said, we grow up in a society where a child is told to be seen, not to be heard. Well, we could see how that's playing out right now. Like Debbie would have alluded to, and I can say this from teaching smaller children in my past. They will not say anything if they were told to be quiet around adults. We want to get out of that mindset and that sort of norm, societal norm that's not working. Another thing is don't talk to strangers. Well, the point is, if a child is being abused, most likely they may feel comfortable sharing information with a complete stranger, maybe not a parent. We have to get out of that. The boogeyman is no longer the strange looking fellow with the trench coat. The boogeyman has come to roost in our homes. We have seen fathers molest their children. In many cases, women are doing it as well. Male and female are being raped in this country. We mentioned rape culture. Rape culture is a society that tends to be desensitized to such cases. Victim blaming, all of that comprises and concludes where it comes in with the rape culture that we see in our society. You know, what a child wears. Oh, the child is promiscuous. Oh, the child is running away from home. Do we know why that child has run away from home? And what kills me, I cannot rebut this enough. Please stop blaming these children that we see on these police bulletins, because we don't know why the children may be seeking refuge outside of their homes. We have to get educated, and when I say educated on child sexual abuse prevention, the signs, the symptoms, how to react responsibly, even if a child shares something with us. So our country is lacking, no disrespect, education on this topic. We can no longer allow another child in our country to be raped, to be scarred, to be marred, and grow up into an adult who's angry at the world and say, why I was not protected. We have to stop being silent on this topic. Silence is compliance. You know, we have to speak up about it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, we may have to expose our husbands, our boyfriends, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters, whomever. But we must do it because the children, it needs us to protect them. I am just fatigued. And when I say fatigue, I'm not tired on my passion and wanting this done. But I'm just saying to persons listening to me, I am angry because I feel like we are not angry enough in our
Yes.
country. Bermuda right now is leading in this. And I know our country can get to where it needs to be. I am
Absolutely.
tired of writing letters in the paper. I am tired of talking. Let's get this training going. Bring myself down. As you know, I live in Bermuda as well. I am willing to give up my time. Let me and Debbie come and train 500 Bahamians. If anyone is serious about this, is interested in protecting the children, I am appealing to you. Reach out to me and I will share information on what we need to do to come in November. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I'm going to the chat in the interest of time, just trying to get some of this feedback. Thank you for protecting our children. I see have to make a difference. This person said, we feel your passion, Sister Siobhan. I'll do my best to promote this program. Great sharing from the chat. Someone else is saying, thank you, Phyllis. That's you giving her some feedback. What's the live link to share on Facebook? Okay, that's the kind of feedback we need. MG Rebirth is saying, count me in. So you got person saying to count me in. Thank you so much to MG Rebirth. We heard that it's free, and I want to few things are free, Bahamas. Few things are free. These ladies are saying they are making it available for free. Now, we do need some persons to, I see, assist with the expense of bringing in the material. And so I think these ladies have put their hearts on the line. Transforming Show is prepared. I'm speaking for Dave. I know Dave, and he is passionate about this kind of thing. So Transforming Lives will get in there and we will do what we can and we'll continue to promote this event. Once you make that information available to us and where we can assist financially, happy to do that. We are calling on all government ministries, get involved. Churches, come on, churches. Let's do this. Schools, we can do this together. This is quite achievable. This is very much doable. Going back to the chat, Miss Carol is going to be our next Judge Carol. We're looking forward to the show. She stayed with us. She said this is a fantastic opportunity for the Bahamas, and it's good to have her on the show today and getting involved. I'm sure she's going to join arms in supporting us. So it's good to have us, to have her here. We know that the cost is $2,000. I wrote $2,745. Quite achievable in terms of getting that material in. Someone is saying enough is enough. Amen to that. Preach, preach, preach. Amen. Great stuff. Our chat is, it's lit. Like the people said, I like this comment. Deception, one of the devil's favorite tools. We must pray for discernment and be willing to act when it's necessary, no matter who the perpetrators may be. Gertie is saying, I totally agree. And I like this one. 90% of people who sexually abuse children are people we know and trust. 90%. So, like we said, it's no longer the boogeyman. We have some contacts here for Save the Children where we can reach Ms. Hollis. It says Save Our Children Alliance at gmail.com. Save, come on, get your pen and paper. Save Our Children Alliance at gmail.com. Bahamas, we can do this and we can do this together. Let's talk about how our sponsors, if you need some sponsors for this event. We just spoke about 2,000, I think about 3,000. How can those persons help? What do you need? Is it just finances, or do you need persons now to act as disciples, to share the word? Tell us, what do you need exactly? Go right ahead.
Okay, so if I can indicate, actually the cost or the funding that we are asking, we all live in Bermuda. So that's 2 flights we have to catch, round trip. So we need airfare, travel accommodation. I don't need accommodation. I just need the travel airfare for myself. Debbie and Dr. Cindy Clark obviously would need accommodation and airfare. We're willing to provide ourselves with our meals and stuff like that. We also need to bring in that book. That's another thing. We have to get the book, the training manuals, I should say, from Bermuda to the US to the Bahamas. So if anyone knows how we could bring in the books duty free, any which way, we are excited. We also need a place, a venue to conduct the training. Now, I have reached out to UB. Fingers crossed, it's looking exciting. So that's something we may be able to scratch off. So we're looking at a venue. If we don't get that, we will need a venue that can hold at least 40 persons, Debbie. Am I saying it right, for training? Do about
Yes,
80 a day?
you know, yeah, I can do two sessions with 40 people per day. I'm willing to do, like I said, 2 sessions a day, 40 people, 80 times, you know, and try to get 5 days in. If we push to 50, that's okay. It is an interactive training. And the more people, you know, it's less people can really talk and when we ask the questions, because I cannot do the training in less than 3 hours. So each session is 3 hours. We would need organizations, maybe someone on the ground, boots in the ground, to get people to sign up for it. That has to happen in advance. So these sessions can be full. We can take advantage of every single one. And yes, I mean, all we're asking is the accommodation, the airfare, and the airfare for Siobhan, and to get the boxes down there. We will pay for our meals, and we will not charge for our time. It's probably, I would say, what do you say, about 8,500, Siobhan? What was the total with your airfare, our airfare, and our accommodations for Cindy and I, and the boxes to get down there? And then whatever rental we have to do for a room, it has to be able, I'll bring my computer, has to be hooked up to an HDMI. We show 2 videos, and we need the people in the rooms. So maybe someone who can do all the churches, somebody who can go out to all the schools, somebody who can go out to all the sporting organizations. So, you know, each class is of that organization, you know, perhaps, you know, court services or your social service, have a whole room of the social services. Anybody working with Child Protective Services, you know, it really have, you know, if we're going to do 2 times 5, you know, 10 sessions, then we have 10 organizations, or 8 sessions, 8 organizations. Does that make sense, Jackie?
Oh, it makes absolute sense. I'm just getting my notification that this conversation is so passionate that we have 1 minute left on the radio. So Radio Bahamas, there you have it. Passionate ladies, a great course. Please get involved, the numbers, give us the numbers, and then I'm going to turn it over to the one and only David Williams. Miss Hollis, please give us the number where they can reach us, and then David, take it over.
Sure. So the number you can reach me on my cell is 242-636-0474. That's WhatsApp friendly. My email is saveourchildrenalliance@gmail.com. It's one word, lowercase. Reach out to me if you're interested in becoming a partner, a sponsor. We are more than willing to put your logo on our material, and we will let you know a full breakdown of what your donation or your funding would go towards. So we believe in transparency. So we're looking at the date once again, November, I think 17th through the 22nd. And we want to have everyone involved who has an organization. We would love to have you get trained.
Siobhan, can I just say, we're going to arrive on the 16th and we're leaving on the 22nd. So we are going to train November 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Over a weekend, for any of those that can't do during the week, we're giving you 5 days to get as many people trained that we can. I'll bring 500. I will bring books. I'll bring 7 boxes of 80 books, because I have 80 books that fit in a box. It's never been opened. 560 booklets.
Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Thank you so much to our guests. You are being passionate. You laid it all on the line. Bahamas, it's all up to you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. They say, please put your contacts in the chat. Dave, over to you. I know it's time to sign off the station. I've been your host, Jackie Gardner, passionate about this subject. Glad to be here with great guests. Over to you, David Williams. I'll put the number in the chat. Go ahead, David.
Just want to say thanks for tuning into the program Transforming Lives on Global 99.5. To our guests, you can write a letter to Simon Wilson, the financial secretary. On behalf of Prison Fellowship, we brought in over 2,000 books free. So pursue that channel. They are duty free, but you have to send a letter to the I guess to the financial secretary. Okay, so we've done it before. You've been listening to Transforming Lives with Dave Williams, Jackie Gardner, every Sunday. Thank you for joining us on the program. Want to remind you, don't meet us there, beat us there at the Cruise in the Harbor. That's 7 p.m. A jazz night under the stars. That's why Jackie is looking extra lovely today. I intend to go there. I'm doing my best to make it. I have a 2-hour window. And so I'm inviting you not to beat us there, but you ought to meet us there. So this Sunday, next Sunday, we have Israel United in Christ. The fastest growing group I see in the Bahamas, the young man in purple shirt, the women, they say, dress modesty. And I want you to join us next week. They says a woman must not preach in the church. So join us next week and ask them your questions. I have mine. They say we are the original, they call it Hebrew Israelites. That's Israel United in Christ next week. And then we want to follow up with Justice Munnings to talk more about her dispute resolution program. Dave Williams, Jackie Gardner on the program Transforming Lives on Global 99.5, Cable TV 974. Don't meet us to the boat, the pirate ship. You ought to beat us there. Have a wonderful afternoon.